welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that is just profoundly human. We're talking about the anatomy of limerence, or as the source material brilliantly calls it, the illusion of love. We're going to be exploring that super intense, kind of wild psychological space right between obsession and affection. You know, that feeling that really pretends to be love? Well, today we're unpacking exactly how it works. Let's jump right in. So, have you ever just stopped belonging to yourself? And I don't mean because someone asked for your time or demanded your attention. I mean your mind just handed over the keys, completely willingly. Think back to a time when suddenly literally every notification on your phone felt like a matter of life or death. A time when you'd replay some totally casual conversation in your head for hours on end, where a delayed text felt like absolute crushing rejection, and a simple smile directed your way. Man, that felt like undeniable destiny. You're sitting there analyzing the most mundane text like they're ancient cryptic prophecies holding the secrets to your universe. Now, a lot of people just brush this off as a crush, or they even mistake it for real love. But as we're gonna see together, psychology actually has a much darker, way more precise word for this exact experience. Okay, let's dive into this. Unlike most words we throw around for our feelings that naturally evolve over centuries, this concept was actually invented to describe something totally off the charts. Back in 1979, a psychologist named Dorothy Tenov was doing deep dive research into romantic attraction. She's interviewing hundreds of people about their love lives, and what she finds absolutely shocks her. She realized a huge chunk of these people weren't simply falling in love. They weren't in some happy, mutually supportive romance. Instead, they were completely trapped in this involuntary loop of intense emotional obsession. The vocabulary we normally use, words like crush or infatuation, they just totally failed to capture the sheer psychological weight and the almost crippling anxiety she was seeing in her subjects. So she came up with a totally new diagnosis for this condition, limerence. It's officially defined as an involuntary state of emotional obsession, where another person's approval literally determines the quality of your entire day. I mean, think about the power of that for a second. You could get a massive promotion at work, win the lottery, have the absolute best day ever with your friends, but if that one specific person leaves you on read or seems even slightly distant, your whole world just collapses. It's crazy, but it is an almost universal human condition. And once you really wrap your head around this definition, I guarantee you'll start seeing it everywhere. It's romanticized in movies, it's echoing in all our favorite songs, and if we're being brutally honest with ourselves, it's probably right there in our own memories. Section 1. Love versus limerence, the illusion of affection. Now, it is so incredibly easy to mix these two up, mostly because at the starting line, love and limerence feel exactly the same. Both make your heart pound, both totally hijack your daily thoughts, and both make someone else feel incredibly important. But under the hood, they run on completely opposing systems. Genuine love actively seeks real connection. It wants to know the actual person, flaws and all, and importantly, real love actually grows stronger and deeper through certainty and security. Limerence, though, it runs purely on a deficit. It's desperate for validation. It doesn't actually care about the real person. It just wants the confirmation that they might choose you. And here is the absolute kicker. Limerence feeds almost entirely on uncertainty. Uncertainty is literally its favorite fuel. The less you actually know about the person, the more your brain frantically works overtime to fill in the missing puzzle pieces. Pretty soon, you aren't falling for a real flawed human being at all. You're falling for a projected possibility, a flawless fantasy that only exists inside your own head. Section 2. The 3 stages. The fever takes hold. Limerence really does act exactly like a viral fever. It gets into your system, spikes dramatically, and eventually it breaks. It follows this highly predictable, almost scary, consistent path that pretty much everyone goes through to the letter. This narrative arc breaks down into 3 inevitable steps. Number 1, the infusion. Number 2, the crystallization. And number 3, the deterioration. Let's track this psychological roller coaster from that very first innocent spark all the way to the painful collapse of the illusion. Stage 1 is the infusion. Every one of these stories starts with just a subtle little spark. A lingering look, a shared laugh over a joke, maybe just a totally mundane chat by the coffee machine that objectively should have been perfectly ordinary. But your mind, for whatever complicated psychological reason, actively zeroes in on this person. Suddenly, without warning, they are uniquely special. And it's not because you spent years getting to know their deep inner world, but because something about them wakes up a dormant possibility inside you. You start planning your whole day around the tiny chance of bumping into them. You draft what you're going to say for hours, and then you spend days over analyzing their basic 2-word reply. The obsession starts quietly, innocently. It actually feels pretty beautiful, like a sudden awakening. But then we slam into stage 2, the crystallization. This is where that frantic, anxious energy completely takes the wheel, and objective reality just gets thrown out the window. You know, confirmation bias? Well, in Limerence, it goes into absolute overdrive. Your mind basically turns into this highly skilled, super aggressive defense attorney, relentlessly fighting to protect the flawless image it just created. Their actual human flaws, completely invisible to you. Their basic virtues, massively exaggerated to superhero proportions. If they're emotionally distant, your brain says they're just delightfully mysterious. If they're inconsistent and flaky, no, they're just complicated. If they hurt you, there absolutely must be some noble reason you just don't understand yet. Every tiny interaction becomes a massive emotional earthquake, because by stage 2, your happiness isn't coming from a reality-based relationship. It's fueled by pure, desperate hope. You are totally captivated by a masterpiece painted entirely by your own imagination. And then, we hit the inevitable stage 3, the deterioration. Because eventually, reality always shows up. And reality is never ever going to match a carefully curated fantasy. The person you've been obsessing over is still just a normal, flawed human being, and that towering pedestal you put them on just can't sustain itself. Maybe they reject you outright, maybe they choose someone else entirely, or maybe they simply act human and fail to live up to the impossible, flawless image you projected onto them. When that happens, the illusion inevitably begins to crack under its own weight. That intricate world that existed solely inside your head rapidly collapses. What follows is this profoundly strange, incredibly heavy emotional emptiness. And here is the true tragedy of it. This agonizing grief isn't because you lost a deep, real relationship. You are mourning the death of a dream. You're mourning a potential future that quite literally never existed outside of your own mind. Section 3, the dopamine trap, the biology of obsession. So, we've talked a lot about the emotional journey, but we absolutely have to look at the underlying neuroscience here. Because the most fascinating point is that limerence is often not about the person at all. It's about a deeply intoxicating chemical feeling. It's the anticipation, the endless maybe. Psychologists refer to this dynamic using a concept called intermittent reinforcement. Think about how a casino slot machine works. If you sit at a predictable machine that guarantees you a $5 reward every single time you pull the lever, it gets incredibly boring, right? There's no thrill. But an unpredictable slot machine, one that rewards you totally randomly, sometimes a massive jackpot, sometimes nothing at all, that becomes intensely addictive. And this brilliantly illustrates why our brains get so hooked. That unpredictability triggers massive dopamine spikes. That is exactly how limerence hijacks our neural pathways. A sudden, unexpected reply arrives, and boom, your heart races with a massive dopamine hit. Then you get radio silence for 2 days, and you are literally in withdrawal. Your brain gets completely addicted to the turbulent unpredictability of those inconsistent replies. The crushing uncertainty is, ironically, exactly what makes it so chemically thrilling. Section 4, the question we avoid, breaking the spell. Do you actually miss them? Or do you miss the version of yourself that existed when you believed they might choose you? I really want you to take a few seconds to deeply consider that. Because sometimes the person we're endlessly obsessing over was never the actual center of the story at all. Sometimes they were simply a blank, convenient canvas, a screen onto which your own unmet hopes, your unfulfilled dreams, and your desperate desire for a better future were projected. We so often fall in love with the version of ourselves we become when we feel chosen. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful final thought from our source material. Limerence is a longing for validation, a hunger for connection, a beautiful illusion powered by uncertainty. It feels exactly like love, it sounds like love, and it undeniably hurts like love. But recognizing it for what it truly is, a beautiful, fragile, deeply uncertain illusion, is literally the only way to finally weaken its spell over you. Because the most dangerous feelings aren't the ones we don't understand, but the ones we mistake for something else entirely. I really hope this gave you some profound insight today into the architecture of your own experiences. Stay curious, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.